Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of the Flip the Mindset podcast. I know the world is upside down just now, but I hope my podcast will bring some hope, some well-needed motivation and inspiration to those who need it. I want to introduce our first long-term sponsor. Silver Lining Debt Relief help people break free from debt. Silver Lining are specialists in government-backed debt solutions that can vastly reduce monthly payments, freeze interest and write off unaffordable debt. Debt is not only defaults and letters, it is also a lot of your income going out to pay creditors, stress, worry and missing out on making memories with your family. By facing debt rather than avoiding it, you will have less to worry about, security, more money each month, and a better financial future free from the misery of debt. We are here to help people find a manageable, legally binding solution to get out of debt. You can check out our debt calculator on our website to quickly discover if you qualify for help at www.sldr.uk. Alternatively, you can email SLDR at info@sldr.uk, or you can call them on 0141 473 5200. It's not a weakness accessing help. Take the right steps to manage your debt. Now, on to the podcast. Hello guys and welcome to another episode of the Flip the Mindset podcast. Today we've got the one and only Callum Thomas Milligan, known as Caz Milligan. Caz is an ex-model. Still model, would you say?
Nah.
Not as much.
Nah.
And he has his own clothing line called Milligan Goods. So we've got Caz here for a number of reasons. I want to find out more about Caz. You know, I speak to him quite a lot and we've kept in touch for the last year, I think, and we've seen each other grow. Caz has been getting a lot of hate and also a lot of love for what he's doing. So we're just here to get up to know a bit more about Caz. We're going to talk about mental health and stuff. We're going to talk about social media. We're going to talk about the pressures of modern society. Please, if you've not done it yet, please like and subscribe. The subscribe helps me massively in my fight towards breaking the stigma attached to mental health, especially men's mental health. All right. How's it going, mate?
I'm good, bro.
How are you?
A bit cold, like, but I'm good, man.
It's freezing in here. How's things, mate? What have you been up to?
Bro, try to keep busy, man. Try to keep the content up. Obviously, I've got Milligan, so designing new products, going back and forth with graphic designer, just keeping busy, to be fair.
How's lockdown been for you?
Obviously, lockdown shit, like worldwide, but for my career and for me personally, it's worked wonders because I stopped drinking a year and a half ago, so I don't bother about going out now. And then I'm just focusing on my career. So when I launched Milligan, that was during the first lockdown, which was July I launched. So when I launched that, everyone was in their house, still getting paid furlough. They wanted to spend their money, so they were going online. So, you know what I mean? It was a kind of a perfect timing. But then obviously once lockdown disappears as well and that gets lifted, people are going to go out, they're going to be more buzzing, they're going to need new outfits. So it's like, personally, I thought it was like the perfect time to start a clothing brand.
Yeah, you're going to put in the hard work and then reap the rewards when lockdown's released. See for there's some people, right? Not everyone. There's some people that this lockdown has been absolutely phenomenal for. You know, it's given them a new lease of life. They've been able to regulate their thoughts and get a new balance in their life, discover themselves a bit more.
For sure.
Is there anything you've discovered about yourself during this lockdown?
Ooh, there has, man. Like, it's gave me time as well, especially to look back at things I'd kind of put aside, especially when I went through the stage I was drinking a lot. I was like going out clubbing, like messing around with girls and stuff, like all the time. So it was like I was doing that because I was enjoying it, but at the same time while I was doing that, the stuff that happened maybe in the past, I was like turning a blind eye to it. So when I came sober, lockdown was happening, I was focusing on my future. It gave me time to think like about shit that I've never spoke about to anybody. Do you know what I mean? So it's made me realise maybe I've got maybe I act certain ways like this because of what happened then. And it's
Yeah.
like, do you know what I mean? When you grow up, you start to realise, I've maybe got this because of that. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't want to say too much because it's like, I've still no spoke about it. So
You
it's
feel
just certain
free to
things,
speak
man.
about anything on this, mate. That's what we all do. That's what all my guests do. Feel free. There's no one judging here, mate. And if they are judging, they don't matter.
No, exactly.
So before we get into the thick of it, let's talk about where did you grow up and what was life like for you growing up?
Right. I grew up in Fife, so a place called Methil. You're probably going to love Fife.
I hate Fife. That Fife accent, man. Do you know what, actually? The accent's nowhere near as bad in person.
That's what, bro.
Hundreds of people say that. See, when you're right here, the accent's all right.
The accent's normal.
But I'm from Argyll, so I mean, I'm kind of used to travelling up north and all that, and but with the Fife accent, it's always been one that the Glaswegians rip into that. You know what I mean? Some of them rip into my accent as well. So, so you grew up in Methil?
Growing up, geez, just normal, I'd say. Pretty much normal, going about, like, doing what you used to do. But back then, it's different now. You've got the iPads and stuff, but getting chases, playing Chappie, just the normal everyday stuff you do as growing up, man. But no, it was
class in it. You're making rope swings, doing that. I remember my brother and his pal stole do you know boats, right? The big ferries, and they tie up with a big rope and they get tied up. So they stole that, right, at midnight from the ferry, right? They've walked all the way through town. Right, don't know how they've not been caught. They've walked
the rope?
The big rope,
right.
Yeah. So there must have been about 10 of them. These ropes are huge. They're big, thick things. They've walked all the way through town and all the way up to the Bishop's Glen. It's the Bishies. And they've hung this off a massive tree, and they created something called the rope swing.
Right.
It was a 30-foot swing. It went 30 foot up into there, and it was one of the best attractions to my hometown that everyone loved. Anyone, we're going to rope swing tonight. We're going to rope swing tonight. You'd have a wee fire
That's
going,
class.
boozing, swinging up and down, and it's just wee things like that we don't have anymore. You know what I mean? I'd like to say I'd done it, but we nicked a tiny rope and it was shite, and we tied a wee stick to the bottom of it. It was crap. The worst rope swing in the world.
See, while we're on this subject, right? Because quite a lot of people are saying, like, say 13, 14-year-olds, they're in playing Minecraft or they've got iPads, like, you should be going out, getting dirty, blah, blah, blah. But that's because we want them to experience what we grew up doing. But if you switch it, if you, like for example, when I was younger and I hung about Methil, it was the same group of boys. There's maybe like 8, 9, 10 of us. And that's the only people I socialised with. Fair enough, we were having fun, getting dirty, blah, blah, blah. But kids now are online talking to pretty much all ages, all religions, like learning stuff, picking up skill sets that we would never have picked up as a kid. Then, do you know what I mean? So they're learning a different society as well. But so when we're growing up, we're enclosed pretty much, but they're learning, plus they're making money from online as well. And I know money's no like a big deal when you're that age, but I kind of feel like they're grown up in a better situation than us.
It's weird you say that, and it's funny you say that. It's a great point you've made there. Hats off to you. We like to project our youth and what we done onto our kids because we think that's what they should be doing because the times are moving away from us. You know what I mean? And we're trying to grab onto it. But they're growing up in a society where social media and technology is a huge thing. And if they don't do it, they're exposed. And they, like, if you don't give your child an iPad or anything like that by the time he's 14, he's going to have a really tough time talking to friends at school. How is he going to talk about the shows? Like, because at school it's all like, oh, what happened? And so I don't watch it, but the Love Island and stuff, what happened in Love Island? If he's not allowed to watch that, he's left out of the conversation.
That's true.
If he's not, I didn't have Sky TV. I grew up pretty poor, council TV. I couldn't watch nearly a lot of football went on to Sky, you know, and I felt left out of a lot of conversations because I didn't know what went on. I couldn't watch your Sky cartoons. It was Cartoon Network and they all used to talk about that. I didn't have a clue. And I like what you're saying there. They're growing up in there, you know, the difference in society is huge. I think because we're older, like, see, when we were younger, we got it off our grandparents. It's just always the way it's been. You know, my grandpa, I was raised off him a lot, and we grew up in the war, and yous are doing too much of this, yous are doing too much of that. Now, when you look back at what we were doing, that was good. You know, like climbing trees and all that. Well, I think I'm saying that was good. I'm projecting it now. But
that was good,
I think it's just a thing to look we just try and project, you know, our youth on them. Because he used to say, don't do this stuff, don't do that stuff. But when I look back now, I'm like, I wish my kids would do that stuff, or I wish kids of these days would do that stuff. So a really great point you made there, because I think that kids are learning faster. And then the money thing, yes, of course. Money's going to come if you work hard at anything. But there are ways that you can build a career online, and that's something we need to look at. But no, I love that point you made. Now I could talk about that for ages. So, what else happened in Methil? Go into it a bit more. What was it like? What was your time like at school? Were you in any football teams, any sports?
But I see now, I know nothing about football. Never keep up with it, just because like I've got other interests. I've got my business and stuff. But growing up, I was very sporty. My dad obviously tried to encourage me to get into every sport. I tried everything. I played football up until I was maybe like 15, 16. And then you start drinking at that age, you start messing about at the weekend. And then I just, from probably the age of 16, never looked at football again, to be fair. But I
thought you were too handsome for football, didn't you? I'm going to a modelling career, man. I can't get a kick or a heat butt, man.
But school, that's a tricky one, man.
Just listen, honest and open as you can. That's what we do here.
I was a wee shit at school, like proper brat. But see, that's something I've been like going back to when I says I was able to go back and think about how I grew up and how I've, like, do you know what I mean? So school, it started at high school, because in primary school I still wanted to like fanny about and stuff, but I wasn't like proper bad in primary. But when we got to high school, I don't know, man, everybody wants to be the guy, do you know what I mean? And it's not that I wanted to be the guy, because I wasn't the guy, but like I'd be getting kicked out of my class, I'd got kicked out of school, and then, but for example, I remember there was one memory when we were in Techie. Nearly every morning we'd go in, right, everybody take your jackets off except for Callum. What the fuck? Why? Why? Like, but this was before I turned like into a proper wee shit. So I'm like, why am I the target? Do you know what I mean? I still don't know to this day. And then, so it was like, I believe it sort of stemmed from there. I was like, all right, well, fuck you then. I'm just going to be
rebelling and stuff like that.
I'm just going to be more of a dickhead. Right? Everybody take your jacket off except Caz, and then I'd sort of kick off. It stemmed for that, but then I'm making it out like I'm a proper dickhead at school. I wasn't that bad, but I was the kid that's like, oh, Caz is piping up again, do you know what I mean? But then as I grew older, I grew out it fast, man, proper fast.
Because you've got a lot of what we're going to talk about today is the haters, and we've got comments of the haters saying you were a bully at school, you were this and that. Now, whether you or not you were a bully or not doesn't matter. All I want you to do is talk about it, because I know that one of the biggest bullies at my school is one of the nicest guys ever now, and he's just he wasn't a bully. He would kind of, I don't know. He probably had his problems, and he kind of he would project it on the other kids, but he is now he would do anything for anyone now. So your past is your past.
The thing is, I wouldn't say I was the bully, do you know what I mean? There was kids at school that would be able to throw me a bit, do you know what I mean? I wasn't like the bully guy, but of course, like when I'm not saying of course it shouldn't be normal, but do you know, there's some people that would just like to get on your nerves, and then you'd retaliate back, and then you'd end up fighting, battling, whatever, and then I wasn't a bully. But there's maybe a few people, not that I picked on, because I'd still, like, the mentality that I've got to know about picking on people it was still kind of the same back then, but back then, you're 13, maybe 14 at the time.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say I was a bully, man. Like, I seen that comment, never replied to it though, because it kind of pissed me off, and I started thinking about the past and shit. But it's like, if you comment on my shit saying I'm a bully, everybody that reads that is going to think I was the guy at school bullying everybody. I'm this guy that... Nah. There was maybe one guy even for primary school all the way up through high school, but there were some times that he'd come out after school and like play with us in a group and play build up and tag and shit. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, if it was that bad, would they be hanging about with me?
School's
like, I don't know,
school's
man.
that weird way, and
you're growing up.
You're growing up. You're going through puberty and all that, I can picture what you were like at school with, you know, with my school experience, what guy you would be, as what you're saying to me there. People's school time, what happens in their school time, they can hold grudges and it can stick with them for their whole life. And it's saying it could just be a guy, you could have been going through a very hard time externally. Such as there was a story, there was a bully in my school. They're older now, right? A really, really bad bully. And used to really manipulate people mentally and physically, bully them. And it wasn't till about 10 years after their school time we found out they were getting sexually abused.
Right.
So there can be reasons behind it. Now, we're not saying it's right, but what I'm saying is the past is the past, and it's about accepting it and just saying, like, this is what it was. I may have picked in a few guys because my mindset wasn't right. That's, I'm talking in your circumstance, my mindset wasn't right. But then I rectified that as I got older. There's nothing wrong with that. That is that's a learning curve for you never to do it again.
But that I would never class myself as a bully at school though. Like, I get what you're saying, and that's completely right. And still, you don't really want to make excuses for it. But as you say, you don't know what people are going through, and that's right, man. Nobody
so what do you
knows.
think you were? What was going on in your mind? Was it just that you were a bit lost? You didn't know what you wanted to do? Pressures on you, stuff like that.
The whole part, like being a wee shit at school, like why I was a wee shit. To be doubt, man. I still talk about doubt. Like, I always
insecurities and stuff.
I always say that. Nearly every video I say, like, even the viewers will know, like, that's came from like me. I always talk about doubt. If you've ever been doubted, man, like, do not listen. But going through school, like, for example, as I say about everybody take their jacket off, butt card, I never studied business, never took business for an extra year. Like, as soon as I could get rid of business, I got rid of business. But I'm a businessman now, but that's because I think it was like second year, you're 13-year-old. Business teacher says, everyone write down what you want to make salary when you leave school, or when you're like an adult. All right, so I knew nothing, right? I knew maybe the teacher was maybe on like 20 odd grand a year or whatever. So I wrote 50 grand. She picked up and laughed at me, bro. I'm a 13-year-old kid and you're laughing at me for saying 50 grand. But
brilliant.
When I was 20, I was a pipe fitter, 12 hours, 7 days a week, making 50 grand a year, just at 20, bro. So it's like, like, why you laugh at me? Just because she's the teacher, though. This is what I get into as well, because it's not just the kid people, because quite a lot of people that try and like speak motivational or try and teach the viewers a lesson, they're always referring to kids, but you could refer to adults as well. Absolutely. Like, for example, that teacher laughed at me for like saying 50, but that's because maybe was she scared because she knew that her job was never going to make her 50 grand? I don't know. I'm the teacher, I'm better than you because you're the student. You're not going to make more than me. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what it is.
I get you there. I think it's expectations in them being, and the reality that, I think it was Ryan Stevenson, my last guest, he talked about footballers. Now teachers would say, you'll never be a footballer. That's what happened to me. I would never be a footballer and I wouldn't be successful unless I stuck in. And so loads of us have had the same treatment. And it was because only about one out of that school, if lucky, over a 2-3 year basis would make it at football. So if they were to set your expectations at 50 grand and big you up to that, and then you couldn't really reach that, they would, maybe it's in their curriculum to teach that, just to just keep people humble and just keep moving them up. I don't know. Yes, we should be pushed to our dreams. 50 grand, yes, do that. You know what I mean? So maybe the teacher has to take a bit of onus on that personally, but I was told the same, you know. All my friends, all my friends used to say it as well. They would say, there was one girl in particular, and she was like, it says, you see that when you're older and see what you're earning at 30, right? And we had a challenge. I says, listen, I bet you then, I've came for nothing, you've came for something. I earn more than you at 30. I was earning about 3 times more than her. And she has a great job. So it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
And I don't even care about money. I keep most of mine away. But, you know, it doesn't matter. And that's it. I get the teacher saying that. I think that's wrong. You know, keep pushing your pupils, keep pushing them, you know, like the Matilda effect, the teacher in Matilda.
And the thing is, she even if she didn't believe in it or whatever, right, she still should have been like, all right, too right, like, what do you want to do, blah, blah, blah. But it's the fact that, like, she laughed at me, bro. Like, you're a 30, 40-year-old woman laughing at a 13-year-old.
It's not her place to do that as well.
She could have been like, all right, but can the average is maybe, I don't know, 24, 25, I don't know what the average is, but, you know, she could have maybe played it down, but in a educational way. She picked up and laughed at me and put it back. Like, what kind of teacher is that?
You're like that. 50.
Exactly, man. But see, even at that age, right, you could ask my dad, man, like, even when she laughed at me, I was just sitting there like, Sam, I know I'm going to do it. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I was that kid, like, it's weird, man. Like, even when I was, say, 13, I had my whole movie, my life. I had my whole movie played out. I knew that, I don't know, because I don't like saying about my future because it's obviously no happened yet, and then there's going to be viewers out there like, shut the fuck up.
You're allowed to visualise.
Exactly. But then, you don't even need to watch. I remember, like, even 2 years ago, I'd try and say, I'm going to do this, and then people in line would be like, shut up, or Caz, stop showing off. Like, I'm not showing off, it's not happened yet. I'm just manifesting my future. And for me, personally, to manifest it, I need to vocalise it. If you don't even look at that sound, like, everyone unfollow me. I still need to put it on my story for me to believe that it's going to happen. Because me personally, if I say, right, I'm going to make 50 grand this year, for me to actually be confident on it, I need to put it out to everybody in the world. I need to put it online because, like, I've wrote it on my wall, like with pen on the wall, because if I say it in my mind and I believe it in my mind and I don't vocalise it, why am I not vocalising it? Is it because I'm no confident? What if I say this and I don't make it? People are going to judge me. I'm just putting it out there.
Do you think that's the doubt and the insecurity that makes you want to put it out there?
Aye. Because as I say, like, to make me feel confident and to make me work to the best of my ability to reach my goals, that's why I put it out there. Everybody, look, this is what I'm going to do. Right, everybody's seen it, Caz. Go fucking do it now.
You have to
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if I keep it to myself...
It's putting pressure on yourself as well.
Exactly, I need pressure, bro. Because if I don't put it out there, only I know it.
So you like being in that situation where you need to feel like you need to go and prove people wrong?
Nah. Aye and no.
Well, that's where you perform best.
Aye, that's what... Because people say, you didn't need to prove the haters anything. I know that. I know that. There's going to be a hater in 10 minutes, but there's also going to be supporters in 10 minutes.
Listen, for one hater, there's two followers.
Exactly. But then that hater didn't follow me 6 months ago when I set that goal, so I'm not going to prove him wrong because he didn't know that goal. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not out to prove anyone wrong. I'm just out to get the lifestyle that I've pictured since I was a kid. And, like, since we're on this subject about me keeping a hold of my dreams when I was a kid, is because I've said this in previous videos. When you're a kid and you've got a dream, like, for example, did you chase your dream? Like, on a
absolutely.
Aye.
But I nearly got put off from haters and doubters.
Aye, or from coming down to reach stupid reality. Yeah. What the
people saying don't do it, you'll never be a footballer and all that, yeah.
Can you swear on this?
Absolutely.
Like, what the fuck is reality,
fuck's
bro?
sake, man. It's not PG anymore.
But what is reality, bro? Like, so growing up, I had all these wild dreams, and then people, like, for example, even when I was 18, I had a girlfriend up until I was the middle of 20. So when I had that girlfriend, I was like in reality. I was in life. I was working as a pipe fitter. I came home, see my girlfriend, sleep, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, I was like, fuck, I've got these dreams, man. Like, what the fuck am I doing? So when me and her split up, I started going out drinking. I started, like, making up for lost time, started hanging in the nightclub. But then I would say to, like, my closest group of friends, I'd be like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start modelling. I'm going to then model overseas. I want to do this. And then when I'm done modelling, because I knew modelling was never going to last a lifetime. I was like maybe 2 years max. It ended up being a wee bit longer. And then when I'm done that, I'm going to then get into business. But everybody, guys, just go and get a job, bro. Come down to reality. And like, you're for method. I was like, right, Sam, block that shit out, because me, as I say, I'll never ever let anybody bring me down to reality. So I started modelling, bro. I started modelling, and then people were like, oh, Caz is paying for photo shoots. Nice shit, that's called investing. So my first first 3 photo shoots was down London. I had to pay for a train, I had to pay for a hotel, I had to pay to feed. Bro, it was like £600 a trip, but I had to invest in my work. So I done that, modelled for the same company 2 or 3 times. The second or third time, I can't remember what one, he goes, do not go home. I need a creative director for this brand. Boom, I'm a creative director for a clothing brand. Phone my pal, I'm not coming home. Why? I stay in London now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But 6 months ago, I had to come back to reality.
Yeah.
But also...
No, that was one of my questions today. Yeah, about the creative director. Brilliant.
Aye. But also, my friends never said it for a bad place. Do you know what I mean? Because they never, like, I think so long term, we'll get into it later. So, they never said it from a bad place. They said it because they wanted the best for me. They didn't want me to maybe waste 3-4 years of my life and then be back to maybe labouring. Like, nothing wrong with a labourer, by the way, but do you know what I mean? So it was like, I don't want to say my friends were like trying to hold me back. They were just wanting the best for me. But see, as soon as I started going for it, they were like, right, fuck it, you're going for it. We're going to be your biggest supporters. And they always have been, man. No matter where I am, what I'm doing, my like group of friends like Blair, Dylan, Cammy, Reese, like everybody are my biggest supporters, and they'll back me to death, man.
And that's what you need.
No, that's what you need. And then I could talk for hours.
No, keep going.
But that's your episode. That takes me back to when people say Caz isn't humble. I don't feel like I'm in a position yet in my career to use the word humble. Like, I'm still just trying to get by in life. I'm still chasing my dream. I'm still at pretty much the bottom. But when people say, oh, Caz thinks this, Caz is that, Caz thinks he's not humble, it's like, I've got the same group of the people I've met in life, but I'm still getting my group of friends from day one in my videos. I'm still involved in them. I've got one here with me today. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's like, if I was no humble, then I would see them once, twice a year, and I'd be kicking it with the people that I now know.
Yeah, I think from talking to you before the podcast as well, it's important to realise that you don't think you're this superstar. You don't think you're this mega rich guy. You're a young boy
rich, bro.
who've got, of course, and you're this young boy who's got these dreams, who visualises them, who's got a little bit of self-doubt and puts himself in a pressure cooker to perform and wants to get to where he wants to be, whether that's the top of the fashion industry or whatever. That doesn't matter. The dream, you're living your dream and your reality of what you can live it, and so of the way you can live it. That should be supported. Now, the other thing you said, it's a Scottish mentality. We've talked about this in loads of podcasts, for people to put you down, even the friends, my friends as well. It's not about time you get a real job and stop chasing that football career. Because I was up training in the AstroTurf. When they were working, I was training, running outside cones myself, sometimes with my brother or my uncle there. So not my brother, my uncle there. And they said, and then as soon as I made it, the switch, we're supporting you straight away. So yeah, it's in your best interest as well. They say it in your best interest, but really, they don't believe you will do it. Like, no one really, because they've probably been told the same thing off teachers. We've all been told the same thing off teachers. We've all been told. So every one of us has that mindset when someone goes for something, he's never going to make it. You know, my first thing when I seen your stuff is, his stuff's great. He puts a lot of time into that. Don't know, should he maybe do this or should he maybe do that? That's me conditioned to think that because of the way I've been brought up in Scotland. We all have this really negative mindset. We find it really hard to support anyone who's going outside the comfort zone and going really outside and being out there and chasing their dream. We just find it really hard. And even I find myself going, nah, never. And then I think, whoa, pull yourself back, Kenny. What are you doing? Like, just because I'm not achieving my stuff, I've got no right to go and slot him.
I used to be honestly one of the most negative people on earth, bro. Like, I would see someone slightly successful and I'll be like, lucky. Oh, he's only doing that because of this, or he came from this, but that's why and then, bro, when I started watching like in motivational stuff or like entrepreneurs and stuff, and then they'd be like, it's all in the mindset. And I was like, surely I can't just wake up and just be a different guy. But I'd say within a 1.5 to 2 year training my mind, like, I mean proper, like hours on end every night, watching more positive stuff, realising stuff, researching. But a 1.5 to 2 year it took me to get the mindset I am now, and I'm probably one of the most positive people ever, man. And I wouldn't, like, obviously I'll still moan and shit, but for example, like, when it comes to like, oh, he shouldn't be doing that or blah, 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 I'm like, well, fuck it, go for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I've flipped my mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I've flipped my mindset, but it takes time, man. So like, for anybody listening or watching, if you feel like you're negative as well, or you're always making excuses for everyone else's success, then do you want to live like that for the rest of your life? Do you know what I mean? Or do you want to start realizing that you can see that and be motivated off that? You could see someone else's success and then it could switch to you chasing your dream. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's where it should be.
But listen, as I say, even when you start chasing your dream, as I say, it's normal for there to be haters and negative people. But bro, see when you prove these negative people wrong, like there's people that tweeted about me, and I know they're listening as well, right? There's people that tweeted about me 5 years ago or 4 years ago that's still tweeting about me. And I'm like,
can't drop it.
It's like, I'm not to throw shade on them, but I've researched them and they're in the same position that they were 5 years ago and they hate their job. Mm-hmm. Now look at me 5 years ago, paying for a photo shoot. Now look at me now. Like I went from paying for a photo shoot to getting paid to become like working in London to this, to that. And then boom, life fucked up and brought it back. But you're still tweeting. Like,
for me, no one that's truly happy. No one that's truly happy and at one with themselves will shine hate on someone else.
Never.
And,
I spoke about that as well.
Unless it becomes a trend. And there's Twitter trends where people will just literally retweet stuff to feel that they're in the abuse. But then does that still come from a bit of hating? Like, you know, when Make It Your tweets were going and I seen people retweeting it and all that, some that don't even know you.
They're unhappy.
They just retweet it.
They're unhappy.
So they're either unhappy or they just want to fit in. So there's maybe a wee bit of doubt and insecure in them. So
both, because you can still fit in with positive tweets.
Exactly.
So why are you choosing the negative tweet?
I'm sticking up for them.
Do you know what I mean? You're like that, deleting all you're going back deleting all your retweets.
So there's a saying that there's no such thing as bad press. So I want to know, in your opinion, how much of your career, especially recently, has been based off of these haters? I mean, would you be as popular as you are right now if you didn't have all these guys who have got hate in their heart, hating on you, giving you clout and stuff like that? There's a reason I'm asking this question, but first I'll hand it over to you.
I wouldn't say my career would be slower. I'd still get to where I want to be though. So basically what I'm saying is I'm not giving them credit. They've maybe made it faster, but I'm such long term that the speed of my career doesn't bother me anyway. So I would say they've speeded it up, but regardless, I'm always going to be where I want to be. Do you know what I mean?
You visualise that. It's a good answer. So basically, you're not giving them credit, but you are giving them credit. Thank you, guys. That's the truth. You have to give them credit because you have to accept that them hating you has put you to somewhere. I think you're going to boom now, you know? So.
But before we go on, there's a Twitter page that they wanted me to come on a podcast, right? Mm-hmm. But I know if I went on that podcast, it was only for haters to watch it. They were probably going to ask me shit to take the piss.
And slag you.
So I says to them, if you want me on, $2 grand and I'll come on. Obviously, I'm not going to charge to come on podcasts, but if it's just for haters,
did that get put out? You
better pay me.
Did that get retweeted?
I'll put it out.
No, did they put it back out saying he's wanting $2 grand?
What they done was like, we made you. You should be paying us. I was like, bro, I've been here for 5 years, man. And then he tweeted no more Caz Milligan tweets. Every tweet went for like 300 likes down to like 30. So I had to start tweeting about me again. It's like,
brilliant.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely love that. Yeah. See, it's fun to talk about. I know it's not good in the mental health and stuff, but see when you bring it back and talk about, it's that way that these are just people, you know, spouting hate for whatever reason that stems within them, right, to do that, or just because they don't like you. Because it's not all, what I was going to ask is, like, not all haters hate you, right? A lot of them just won't like you. They won't take to you. One, they might not, like, people don't take to my podcast. Right, I'm out here trying to do mental health awareness and all that stuff. Some people just won't like me. Some people like tea, I've said it before. Some people like coffee. Some people like neither. And that's just the way it is. Some people like Coke. Some people like Brew. And that's a bit that I had to get used to. I had to accept, wait a minute, just because someone's saying they disagreed with my stuff or whatever I've put out, tweet, video, YouTube video, whatever, doesn't mean that they hate me. It just means they disagree with me. They don't like where I'm coming from, what opinion I've got, and they maybe just don't like my style, don't like my stuff, and maybe don't take to me as a person. Not everyone takes each other. So it's important I think it's important to address, not all these haters hate you. Some might not take to you, and that's okay. And in their situation, they can't be, then just because they don't take to you, it doesn't give them any right to bash you with hate.
The thing is, it's like, as you say, like, some of them are funny. Some of them are funny. Like, some haters go and make a tweet and I look at it and I'm pissing myself, bro. Like, with laughter. Like, I'm showing my mum. I'm like, Mum, look, this is class. But they're trying to make, even though they're hating and they're probably unhappy in life, they're still trying to, like, make it a joke so they could get likes. But see the people that are like, go die, because you deserve death. I'm like, from what? Making a clothing brand? From doing YouTube videos and talking about mental health maybe every so often and trying to entertain the subscribers I've got. Like, do you know what I mean? It's they people that it's like, people literally take their own life because of that shit. And that's what I hate. So that's why I try and, like, I don't know, man, it's like a sticky situation, a sticky subject to talk about. But, like, for example, when that whole chocolate cream thing started, the Starbucks order, the people that was like, even the people that were trying to be funny at the time when it was everywhere, I was like, I kind of struggled for like a day. This is the first time me ever letting it sort of get to me. And I've been having it for like 4 years. But so I made that, the mental health video on my channel on YouTube. And then some people were like, oh bro, we're just trying to have a laugh, lighten the fuck up. I'm like, you've maybe seen 5 tweets. I've received 500 tweets. And then you've got all the retweets on every other tweet. So that tweet's now reached maybe 3,000 per tweet. I've got all the DMs in my Instagram. I've got all the YouTube dislikes, all the YouTube blah, 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 blah. It's everywhere to me. Like 5,000 in a day. But you see 2 tweets and like, oh, Caz, cheer up, man. It's just a laugh. Because you've just seen 2 tweets, bro. You've not seen the 5,000. My mum's now seen it. My mum's now in a shit place. Like, oh, Caz, are you okay? Like, my mum's getting upset. And then that's when someone created the Lagan Goods Twitter, which I was telling you about earlier. I've no got Twitter. My company's no got Twitter. Then they start putting racial future projects on, like designing t-shirts that was racist. And I'm like, now you're fucking up my career. Now you're trying to damage my business. In trouble. Then that's when I was like angry, like proper angry, bro. Like, I didn't want to get into it, but that's when I was like, right, this side of hate, that's bullshit. But see, after maybe a day and a half, I'm like, cool, like just bring it, man. Like, I'm done with it. Now, like, it's easy to deal with. But as I say, but that's because I gradually got up to that point. Because I've been chasing my dream for 4 or 5 years now. So I've always had the doubt. I've always had haters. So when it's get to the point where, I'm not saying like superstar level, obviously not, but I'd say in a week, I probably received maybe like a Love Island standard level of hate. Like if you go on Love Island. But there's people that just get that randomly. But I gradually built up to it. So it wasn't as bad mentally for me. Do you know what I mean?
You've had time to prepare. Yeah, I've looked back at the 4 years you've been doing it.
But there's people that come from like absolute nothing, then blow up and then boom, get all this hate. They've never had to prepare for it. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, they're the people I'm worried for. So like when I talk about hate and mental health and all that shit, it's like, I know I can cope with it, I've got thick skin, but not everyone's going to have thick skin, and you're not just hating on me, you're hating on other people as well. So it's those people I get worried for.
Yeah, you know I think there's a very fine line between banter and hatred, and the damage that can do to an individual. We see it a lot in football. There's a very fine line between football fan banter and sectarianism and racial hate, and we see that line's been crossed with you. So I wanted to get you on to get your take to see who is actually Callum Thomas Milligan. I know you hate me saying that. Even when people are going to tweet that all the time. That's going to be the trending tweet today, innit? Callum Thomas Milligan.
Bro,
listen, just before you go on, you're going to get bigger, right? Your stuff is good. I see one of your t-shirts, I think it's the two things like that. And I thought, I'd buy that. You know what I mean? Your production's good. You do all the editing yourself. A lot of work goes into it. You're going to become someone, and you've got that vision. You're already, everyone's someone, but you're going to become, you're going to get bigger. You're also going to get a lot more hate. So it's that way you've got Mallet, you know, Tommy Mallet. And even him, at the standard he's at, gets a lot of hate. You know, so it's that way where, it's about almost dealing with it in this century, because I hate it. Any kind of hate like that, I can't deal with it. Not like, I can't deal with looking at people receive hate. I was getting a wee bit upset when I seen some of the things that were written about you, and it was annoying me. And I'm like, why? What are we doing? You know, what's going on? So it's that way where we need to get that fine line, and we need to get that balance. Maybe Twitter and all that needs to be regulated more, because if you go, the way you took it, right, someone else getting that tweet could have took their own life. There's no two ways about it. It could have happened.
And that's what I try and tell them.
Oh, he was always such a happy guy. Oh, he had so much going for him. Oh, he had this and that. Come on. You know what I mean? There's a line. So we've touched on this a wee bit, but you've came onto the scene. We've touched on this a wee bit, but you've came onto the scene rapidly through TikTok, the old TikTok. And what I want to know is how much... You had a modelling career before. How much did your modelling career prepare you for the type of publicity that you've received?
Right, because see TikTok, most people's on TikTok doing trends, dances, blah blah. Like, I only pretty much use TikTok as a platform to promote my other platforms. So promote my YouTube channel or promote my clothing brand. And, do you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not a TikToker. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't class myself as a TikToker, but since I'm on TikTok, I don't know, it just sort of like, it's happened. I've still got hardly any followers on TikTok, but you know, that chocolate cream Starbucks thing, that sort of blew up. And then, but going back to your question, did modelling prepare me for it? It's like, I always knew, as I say, bro, like everything that I've done up until now has been planned. Like, I've predicted everything, like, legit, everything.
You visualised everything, yeah.
And I've even vocalised, like, that's why I say, like, I'm not a rapper, right? I'm going to touch into this. I'm not a rapper, but on YouTube, I made a song in 24 hours. Do you know, it's entertainment, right? But when I do that, I write lyrics that's facts. So I done, what was the lyric? I say is, everything I said I'd do, I've went and done it. It's like, that's what I'm saying. So when people are like, do you know what I mean? Like, did modelling, for example, your question, did modelling prepare you for this? I was always prepared because I knew everything that's happening in my career I've planned for. Like, there's reasons for there's a reason why I'm wearing this, and there's a reason why I wore it in the YouTube 2 weeks ago. And the reason I'm wearing it is because I'm preparing for something that's coming in about 6, 7, 8 weeks time. But nobody's going to figure it out. But
so everyone's got a place. There's strategically planned.
There's a plan for there's a reason why I'm here.
So it's such a hard one, because I know the Scottish people, especially the Glaswegians, and you talk about like the rapping, and it's just never been a big thing in Scotland, for one, right?
Bro, I'm not a rapper.
And because you're not a rapper, but people use that as that was perfect fuel for people to jump on. But let me quote my next thing. You already knew that.
Trust. So,
yeah, and I'm not stupid. You know what I mean? I've researched things, and I'm an avid researcher. I'm looking at your stuff, and I'm going, this guy knows he's going to get abuse for that. This guy knows. But so I'll speak of this one, right? The giving away, right? So in this day and age, right, with the service people work in a pandemic, right? You then give away an iPhone, right, to a Starbucks worker, right? Now, there's been a lot said in the past about people showing acts of kindness and having to show them out loud. But one thing you done that I think had people railed, the one thing that done that I was suspect of is, soon as you done it, you promoted Lagan Goods straight after it. So then what that does for other people, you might not have seen that, because I think it was coming from a good place. Lagan Goods after it. So then people are going, he's literally only giving that iPhone away for people to then go to Lagan Goods to promote it. Now, coming from a kind of guy who's I've got no judgment on it. I don't think you've maybe seen that. I think it's been from good heart, but I think you've maybe strategically tried to get one up on the business there by doing that, and I can see why that would be bitter, and that would leave a bitter taste in a lot of people's mouths, because they're out working hard in the pandemic. You go hand that, and then I think if you'd not tagged Milligan after that, I don't think so much would have came.
No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough, because I've never even thought about that. I've not even seen comments about that. So you saying that, and you saying you've done a act of kindness, then promoted your business, I understand that now. So I'll take that on board. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
I've just learned something. I never purposely planned that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I upload once a week on YouTube. I promote my business every single video, because that's what puts food on my table.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? But talking about like acts of kindness being online, sticky subject, because obviously most people would say, if you're going to do something kind, do you need to put it online? And I get that. So that's why I said in other ones, you just don't see everything I do.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, if I'm going to do a kind of
act of kindness,
if I'm going to do something that's kind,
something
right?
good.
Something good, I don't video them all, bro.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
like, if I'm walking down the street, I would probably never walk past a homeless guy and not throw him money or go and buy him a hat at a shop. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm not going to film that shit. So nobody sees that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a family down the road for me doing a charity, because one of their family members, so it was a charity to do with that. So I went along, gave them Milligan good stuff, and I gave them money because they were doing like a raffle stuff. So I was like, oh, we have these for raffle, and here's a decent amount of money.
Yep.
Never publicised that, never spoke about it once. So when I say, if I give away an iPhone to a Starbucks worker, that's kind of entertainment.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I'm not doing it, look at me, I'm being an amazing guy. And I also says it's not a brand new iPhone, it was my old iPhone. I just got the 12 Pro Max, so that was my 10. Someone offered me £180 on Insta. I was like, nah, bro, I'm going to give it away because you're a dick. But I understand people's point of view on that. But when I've got 19,000 followers on Instagram, 25,000 followers on TikTok, 1,500 subscribers on YouTube, all of that put together is like, what, 40,000 people. If I do a good thing on the internet and potentially 40,000 people see that, even if 10% people copy me, that's like...
the world's a better place.
You know what I mean?
4,000.
So,
4,000.
Or even 1%, bro. If 1% copy me, that's 400 people. That's 400 people getting helped. So I don't call myself an influencer, by the way, but that's me being influential. So when people say, you've got a platform, put it to good use, but as soon as you do, you get judged.
Yeah.
But again, for everyone watching and listening, I understand why people could say, why do you need to film it and put it online? But it's a Starbucks worker, bro. It's not like she was like well, I don't know anything about her, but it's not like she was dying for help. It was just me. Here's an iPhone.
Yeah.
It wasn't me like, everybody look at me, like, think I'm amazing. I'm giving here's an iPhone, boom, done. But then look at Mr. Beast, a YouTuber, one of the biggest YouTubers on YouTube, multi-millionaire. Every video is given away. Mr. Beast is a legend. Yeah. But if you do it on a relatable level where most viewers can actually do it, you'll get judged. Why? Because they're not doing it, bro. Yeah. So does that then come from a place like, shit, I didn't do that, but he is. Fuck it, I'll just hate. Do you know what I mean? But as I say, I'm going to keep going back. I understand why people might think that's blah, 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 but do you understand my point of view now? Because from your question, like, I feel like you're maybe in that type of people like, oh, you shouldn't have really done that, but you correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I don't. Listen, I don't judge anything, as you know, in Flip the Mindset, and I just know where that's people. I can know where they're coming from.
No, totally.
If you were to ask maybe 100% of them, I bet 90 would say that. So
100%.
What I'm trying to say is, I'm on the fence with this one because I do the same. I do giveaways and stuff like that for my mental health page, right? And the reason I do it is because, like, see some of these things I have done, big giveaways and all that, I've changed a lot of people's lives in the fact that they have got so many people going on and making motivational pages now, so many people going on and doing things for the right ideas, for the right reasons behind it, and so many people who who really live by, you know, some of my mottos and stuff like that, and it's took me a while to build that. I think people would be saying to you, who the fuck's this guy? He's got a clothing brand and all that, he's not even famous and he's giving this away. And then that guy on YouTube, see, because he's already got millions of subscribers, people look at it and go, oh, he's already class.
Exactly.
He can do it, you know, but the wee guy can't do it growing up. But this guy who done it before, he got to that place doing that. So it's that way, it's that mentality again, innit, that we don't want to see people succeed. For me, I'm on the fence because sometimes I love doing... my page is based on kindness. I love acts of kindness, and if I don't show them all, but if I show one or two, right, that's what I'm all about. I love giving away. I love giving things. I don't care about anything else. I don't care about getting rich. I don't care about this or that. But I think because most of my followers understand me now over years of kind of tuning in, they know why I do things. With guys just coming on and maybe just seeing you, or guy from Fife, blah, 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 hate. And I think that's maybe, after they watch this, they could understand more of why you do it. I think the main thing was just the promoting of the...
Which I shouldn't have done. I get that. Like, I'll take that on board. Hopefully I don't fucking forget. But I understand that now. But back then, I was just, like, as I say, it wasn't planned. So I'm just out in the car, right, fuck it, YouTube video. I got my phone out. Boom, here's a phone. I dropped my cousin off because he was with me. And while I was still parked, I was like, right, I'll put an outro to the video. So as I'm talking about my outro, I automatically talk about Lagan because that's my business. I always promote it. So I just done it without thinking. So maybe I should think more and I understand that. But while we're on the topic about giving away, and I'm saying like I do certain giveaways, like for example, giving away the phone or the clothes to the supporters and stuff. I'd do that not asking for anything back. Like, fair enough, I put Lagan in there, but did I say go away and buy it? I was just saying, I've got a business. So it's not like I do a giveaway and I'm like, but you need to do, I need this and I need blah, blah, blah. But then I'm a dick for that, but you've got these influencers, which by the way, I'm not throwing shade on because do giveaways. Everyone that's watching this, if you're doing a giveaway, video it, put it online because you're going to influence someone else to do it and everybody's just going to get help. So I promote it. But there's influencers out there doing, I'm going to give away this hoodie, but you need to follow me, you need to like this, you need to tag 2 friends, you need to put it on your story. But they're sound. But I give away an iPhone to a random person, ask for nothing back, I'm just doing it because I'm bored. Caz is a dick.
It reminds me of a bit of the Alfredo Morelos thing. Do you know, he gets on as a stick now no matter what he does. You know, people will just jump on him, he can do good, and people will go, why is he doing that? He let that bit of play go the other week, and people are like, that was bizarre, why is he doing that? He gets, I'm about to say clout, gets this abuse for everything. And like you now, people are just going to abuse you for anything you do now.
Anything, bro.
I always have to hit things on the head, as I said, and then I defend them. The other side of it is, we are in the technology age. We are in the age of camera phones, videoing, YouTubes, podcasts, vlogs. We are in this age. So if you want to go and promote something, if you want to go and give it away, if you want to do whatever you want, go and do it. It's nobody else's business what you do. So that's my defence on it.
There's so many people as well go, oh, but Caz, you didn't need to do all these things because I've done this and I've done that and I never blah, blah, blah. It's like, why you tell me if you don't want people to know? If you're not going to boast about it and put it online, then why are you telling the whole world in a tweet? Do you know what I mean? It's like you deep down, you want everybody to know your good deeds that you've done. Not everybody, but as I say, even the influencers that do the giveaway, I'm not throwing shade, do them every day if you could do it. Because you're only going to influence other people or give away free stuff to people that might need it. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know why people hate on give it. Well, I understand. I don't know, man.
People hate to listen. You listen.
It's a sticky one.
I always say this: you'll save someone's life, and someone in the crowd will jump out and goes, "You didn't save it fast enough." That's something I live by all the time. People are always going to pressure you. So, moving on, here at Flip the Mindset, we love good work ethic. What drives you to work hard and put so much effort? Because I think many people don't know that you spend hours editing your videos. A lot of work goes into this. A lot.
And that's just what my YouTube videos.
Yeah, and that's just your YouTube. And
that's a side hustle, bro. Yeah. That's what I do at midnight till 2 a.m. But I get up at 7 a.m. and I work on my business till midnight. Do you know what I mean? But bro, it's mad. But like, what drives me for that work?
What drives you to work hard? Because I just don't want people understand how much work you put into this dream of yours, and they just bash it. You put in. I've brung out a clothing brand, and I was speaking to Chinese investors every night. I was on speaking to Chinese manufacturers every night at 3 a.m, 4 a.m. Right, and that was brutal. This is for months, getting samples, sending them away again. That wasn't right. Oh man, it's brutal. It's really difficult. And and then I'm working at 8 a.m, you know what I mean? Then I'm up the next night, 4 a.m, speaking to these Chinese investors. It's hard. And then you've got the YouTube videos, you've got the promo videos, you've got sales, you've got to look at your analytics. It's a lot of work goes into it, and I take my hat off to you for that. And I think people need to understand that. So what drives you to put all that in?
The fear of being unhappy in a career that I do not want to be in. So, for example, going back to labouring or a pipe fitter. Like, see, when I started modelling, bro, people that just realised who I was when I was modelling, you don't know what work rate is. You don't know what real work is for a man. It's like, right, what do? I'm an electrician, 8 till 4, and I got a half day Friday. All right, well, 6 months ago, I was a pipe fitter, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, working on shutdowns, non-stop. For a year. Don't talk to me about work rate, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? So that's why I work 7 days a week, but now I'm doing 16-hour shifts, 7 days a week. This is work, bro. For me, I'm networking. I'm creating a better relationship with you. I'm getting other people to watch me. Like, this is part of my diary being here. So what drives me is, again, the fear of being unhappy to where I could be if I don't put the work in. Because when I was a pipe fitter, when I was labouring, I could not do another year, bro. Never mind another 40, 50 year. Like, I was the most saddest person ever. Like, that's when I said to my friends, my family, I'm like, life is shit. I am so unhappy. Like, I'm getting up, dreading, like, I'm waiting, the alarm's going on. Most of people in the world will relate to this. You wake up and you're dreading it. Your alarm goes, you're like, oh, it's Monday. I've got 5 whole days of this bullshit. Or 7 whole days if you're working 7 days a week. I was just pure unhappy, bro. Like, I hated life. Like, Caz, if you don't try and put your all into this, you're gonna be this unhappy for the rest of your life. But there's so many people out there that's got a 9-to-5 or like a job that they're happy.
Yeah, they love it, yeah.
And bro, they've made it, like, in life. Like, where I want to be, I don't give a fuck about the money, right? But where I want to be, I'm going to end up being a millionaire. But I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it for my happiness. I'm doing it because that's the career I want to be in. I want this clothing brand. I want to have a big family channel. I want people to watch my kids grow up on YouTube, obviously. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I want everything, bro. And that is the life I've dreamt of as I was 13. And that's the life I'm living or working towards. Do you know what I mean?
There's nothing wrong with that. I think we've got to understand there's nothing wrong with you wanting that, you know?
And as I say, it's like, people are like, oh, money's no everything. That's like, bro, I started Lagan in July. Lagan's made a decent amount of money. I've paid myself nothing. Nothing, bro. Not paid myself 1 penny from Lagan because I'm just reinvesting it because the business needs it. I don't need the money, bro. What am I going to do? Buy clothes or something? I'd rather watch my business grow. So when it comes in, like launch day, and I make a couple grand in the day, that couple grand is getting reinvested back into the business because I need it to double or, do you know, and keep growing and growing and growing. Do you know what I mean? But that's another thing I want to quickly tap into as well. Like, since I've came from this social media guy into businessman entrepreneurship, I've not got the audience that really understands entrepreneurship. So when I talk finances, you're showing off. It's like, no, bro, my numbers are tiny, like tiny. Like, do you know that Reese Wabara that owns Mani or Devore? He'll put up that he made 2 million in January. But he's doing it because he's an entrepreneur. He's got people that follow him that see that he's made 2 million in that month. That's what I want. I do it. I get motivated. Oh, fuck, I want to do it. Then, so I want to be like that. I want to be like, if you're chasing your dream or you're building your business and you've not started yet, then look, I just done these numbers overnight. So go chase it. So, but on launch day of Prestige 4, I made 2 grand in the day. So I put, like, I'm buzzing. I'm proud of myself, bro. I'm not flexing. $2,000 to the business world is, and where I want to be, so small, bro.
It's minuscule.
Do you know what I mean?
So, to give you an example, my cousin, he has his clothing company. He's got a few brands out now, and he's gave clothes and designed clothes and had Lewis Hamilton wear his clothes. He's had Gerard Butler wear his clothes,
that's amazing.
And he is right high up there now, right? But one of his businesses that are just out, they do jeans similar to them, and he this last 6 months made, I think one of his new ones, he made £70,000. Sorry, he made £70,000 in the 1 month. And that, I was like, oh, what are you going to do with the profit? He says, there's no profit. Exactly. So what are you talking about? And he goes, that regurgitates straight back into the business. I've got $2,000 a month for spending on Facebook ads. He says, I've got manufacturers to pay. I've got the the photographer to pay. I've got one of the style. I've got this PR or whatever who set that up for him to pay. And he says a lot of it goes out the door, and any profit I'm going to put into my next one. And I says, so how long's that go on for? He says this could go on from. So he's been doing it about 6 years now. He goes, this could go on for 10 years, and then maybe in 10 years' time, I'll have, $200,000 a month that I'll make, and then there's my profit over the years. I'll keep making profit off that. So it is. So as soon as you came up and you said that in your usual, but I understood straight away because I understand it. That right, he's saying he's made this year, but I guarantee you that's gone into his business again.
100%.
But they think you've made this and you're away to flash it and spend it.
And then people were like, "Oh, you made $2,000 one day. You're showing off because I make that in a month or whatever," which is sound. But I'm not flexing, bro. I'm like, I don't know, man. It's
you're telling them your business.
Exactly.
You're telling them your business, and some people don't like that.
And it's like, one, I'm trying to motivate people because there's a lot of every day I get a DM saying, I want to start this business. How do I go about blah, blah, blah. There's people that get motivated off me. So if I could show them that I made this in a day and my business has only been gone for like 7 months or whatever, then it's going to motivate them. And it also comes from a place of proud. Like, I've done this. Like, I had no investors. I've rejected 2 investors offered me 5 figures each. Like, do you know what I mean? So all of this, I built this from zilch. Nothing, bro. So to get to the point where I made $2,000 in a day, I'm proud of that. So if I put that online and people, you're showing up, how can I not just be proud of what I've achieved?
Yeah.
Because listen, if someone puts in 4 years of education and whatever, and then graduate uni, they put it on Facebook. Yes. Everybody, well done, well done, well done. I put in 5 years, 7 days a week work. I made $2,000 in a day. You're fucking showing off. Like,
I love it.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's trying to get people to understand the business side of Caz Milligan rather than just the social media Caz Milligan. Because there is 2 sides to me, bro. And then people were like, oh, well, it's one fake. So you've got a business Caz Milligan, then you've got a social media Caz Milligan, then you've got like Caz Milligan, right? None of them are fake, bro. Do you know how much size to you there is? You do not act the same when you're with your, you got a missus, You do not act the same when you're chilling on the couch with your missus at night versus you in the club with your pals.
We've all got these sides, of course.
Everybody's got sides
when
to
you're
them.
with your gran,
Exactly.
You're a church boy.
So Caz Milligan is who you see now. Like, watching this, like, this is just me being me. You've got business Caz Milligan, where I would not talk to you for 18 hours because I'm in that office working. I'm like numbers, paying people, photographer, graphic designer,
You've got the showbiz side.
But then I've got the social media, but the social media Caz Milligan is not it's me. I'm just more energetic, I'm more fun. But that's not fake though, because some people will be like, oh, so the social media YouTube Caz Milligan, oh, like, that's like a different guy, or you're trying to be more entertaining. It's like, do you want me to see a video when I'm like this? Hi guys, welcome back to another video. That's boring. Nobody's going to watch. So I'm still this same guy, but I'm more energetic. I'm going to keep you viewing me. Do you know what I mean? I'm more enthusiastic. So it's not fake, it's just a more energetic version of myself. Yeah, I like that too. And it's good to get that point across. Because I think even when I first watched it and you're going, brah, brah, all that shit, and I've just knocked away, you're like, and all that stuff.
and all that stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, and all that shit. And you're like, big up this guy, big up that. And I'm like, that's fucking Biggie Smalls, Lagan. What's he doing, Biggie Lagan? What the fuck's going on? That was my first thought, and that's just natural because in Scotland and Glasgow, if you do that at school, you're getting a fucking very hard time. And I tried to do it one time because I thought I was too Scottish one time, right? Because my dad's American, he's African American, right? And I've been brought up off my mum and all my white side of the family. You know, in a lot of areas, I'm more white than any Scottish guy. You know what I mean? Play the bagpipes and all that. And there was a bit I thought I was missing, and I thought I'm missing that. You know, couple of my mates went to who are mixed race as well, used to go to their dads and come back and all that, and then they would knock off these things and talk all this slang and all that stuff, and I had it in, and I thought, why have I not got none of this? I'm so Scottish now. Should I not have a wee bit of this about me? With that brat thing and all that. So I'm listening to English music. And then I told you, gradually over a couple of years, I started trying to bring it out. My heart's like that, and all that, you know what I mean? And I did, I'm telling you, my mates will tell you. And bring it out, and I'm wearing different clothes, and I'm just talking that way, and brat and all that shite. And I was very quickly closed down off my class. What the fuck are you doing? Get that off, man. Yeah. But,
I've heard all that as well, but do you know what?
That's you, I think. I think people are feeling to. I think they're feeling to realise that is actually you. That's the way you like to be. That's your hyper mode. That's what you're all about. That's what you listen to. That's your fashion. This is just you. And I think Scottish people hate that. In Scotland, when people act like a rude boy, and we see it all the time, people get a really hard time for acting like a rude boy or someone who's down in England, because I would expect that off my cousin. Right? My cousin's from London, West London, and I would expect him to act like that. I would not expect someone who's brought up here to act like that, and I think that is why a lot of the abuse comes with that. Because
let me talk on that, because I've got a few. So I've always been the energetic guy, or like, you know, if I see a celebrity wearing a certain outfit, I'll go out and buy that outfit. Then, like, I'm talking maybe like 15 years old, and then people around my area will be like, what the fuck are you wearing that for? I'm like, oh, because Joe Essex wore it. Yeah. That's Joe Essex. So why can Caz Milligan not wear it? Because I'm from a different area. Come on, bro. Like, I hate that, right? So I think it maybe started from that. But then when I started modelling, say, then I was living in London for like a year. And then, see, apart from my like close friends that I've mentioned earlier, I do not hang around people from Fife. So when people from Fife act like people from Fife, because they hang around from people from Fife, so you act like who you're circled around. Yep. So if I hang around with people from London and I'm networking people from Manchester, I'm going to slightly pick up on things. And that's normal, bro. Like, for example, everyone says bro. All right, bro? Like, do you think everybody in Scotland said bro when they were 15? No, because that word hadn't came into Scotland yet. So when that word comes in, people gradually use it. Now it's normal.
You just twang it in a certain way, don't you? Like, yeah, bro. I can't even
but
do
like,
it, man. It's
do
brilliant.
you know what I'm trying to get to, though?
Yeah.
So, like,
and your circle is like your bigs and stuff like that, and then boys, they all do the same thing, and they get abused for it as well when they're in the car and they're doing music, and you've got bigs and you've got another boy, and then you've got like maybe 3 white guys in the back, and they're all going brah 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 and all this madness, man. And that's okay for me. I don't judge that because I kind of like that energy. You know, I can bounce off that. You know, I can put myself and bounce off that. But see, because that's a wee bit out the norm in Scotland, and anything that looks different in Scotland is pelted. So people hate people who are maybe just out there a bit, and I think that's just what you are. But a lot of people also love you. And let's talk about, instead of the negatives and the haters and that, let's talk about the good things.
Well, wait, before we go into that, right? See how you're talking about like how we're like acting all daft and blah, blah, blah. That's only because it's online. Everyone that's judging us, like, yous all have daft moments with your pals, but just because it's not online, nobody sees it. Do you know what I mean? Everyone acts daft, bro. Like, if you're chilling with your pals and you're doing daft shit, it's funny. You're just having a laugh. Like, be daft. It's funny. People are just too serious in this world now. So if I'm daft and it gets put online, everybody wants to judge it. But last weekend you were daft with your pals.
I think it's
just not online.
Yeah, I think the difference might be being daft and acting, and there's 10 of yous there, make it as the Tarzan boy or whatever it is. And what's his name again?
Parcel.
He's a great guy. And all these boys are together, and it's like you've got 10 boys acting like they're for London. That's not going to go down well in Glasgow or Scotland. I can understand why people would get on it, because they're not from there. Why are they trying to be like these other people? And it's all kicking off, and yeah, bro, and all this madness that you would only see in London. When I go to London, I see it there. I never see it anywhere here. And then you've got boys who maybe live next door to me. He's grew up with me. He's grew up beside me, and the councillor came, blah, blah, blah. He's Glaswegian or Fife or Scottish, and he's acting like that. That is acting like someone who you're not. I can understand how they pop on it, but that's all your guys' energy. The group of friends, you all bounce off each other like that. So you do, to get sucked into that group, I feel that you then, I see one guy in the group and he's very awkward doing it. You can see, you probably know what I'm talking about. He's very awkward trying to thingy in, and then he'll say something and be like, yeah, you know what I mean? It'll be like Scottish accent, and you can see he's awkward trying to fit in with the banter. You know what I mean? So you know it's not him. I can look at him and I say, go, that's not how he is. But he's trying because he loves all you guys so much. You can see why they maybe do that, but still, it's not their place to judge.
Exactly.
It's not mine.
And the thing is, like, the main thing in life is happiness. Whatever you do, whether if it's daft or whatever, if it makes you happy, then who else is to judge? Do you know what I mean? Exactly.
The biggest thing we can have in life, and the main thing we should strive for, is happiness. 100%. And then when we find it, it's about obtaining it, and then it's about keeping it. Do you know what I mean? No, it's great, because I like talking about anything, because I've done mad stuff in my life and all. And for you, this is just everyday normal stuff, and you always look happy. And that's what a lot of people don't have. I don't see a group of pals like yours. Right, well, you've got JP and Gallagher and Nico Carrillo and all that. A group of guys like yours who will stick by each other, support everything they do. And your photos, every one of your mates comments, every photo likes and shares. And all your mates' photos, you comment on them all. I've checked all that. You comment something positive. Like, see, when you create a small society of friends like that, you will go far. And my post something that's really important about mental health, maybe one of my friends will comment. Maybe they might all like, but none of them will probably share. That's the difference from what you've got and what some of our Scottish boys have got. We maybe don't understand the brotherhood as much, you know.
Well, I don't know, like, your friend group, but for example, like, my friend group in the, like, you know, bigs, etc., we're all sort of doing the same career, so we all help each other, we all comment, blah blah blah. But like my Fife boys, they don't really need to comment on my stuff, blah blah, because it's no they're not in the same career, or they're not doing the same thing. Like, do you know what I mean? They're like,
but they should comment and support, but it's different because it's the Scottish boys. It's kind of different. Like, surely you can see that when you're looking out. Like, the boys won't comment and support because they just can't get into it. They can't. But should they be the ones commenting and support instead of other people?
Nah, I don't. Nah. Because they might not understand it as much, and like, they support me in other ways. Like, they're my biggest supporters, bro. Like, biggest. But they don't need to go and check. They're probably not even on Instagram every day, bro. Checking up. They don't need to check my posts. So maybe for you saying, like, no, all your pals comment on it, maybe because, like, it's not their job to look at every inch of your career. Do you know what I mean? So
but they see it. They see what I post, and it's not that. It's the same, because people who are into the mental health side, they'll post it. Like, I've got a group of friends that are into that, and they'll post it. But still, I'll not forgive my friends for not posting it, because when they do something, I don't care what my mates do, whether it's fashion, whether it's anything, I'm supporting them. You know, you've got my full support. I don't care if I need to go on and share this or go on and do that. You've got my support. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if I do not understand, because this comes back to mental health. Do we just not talk to someone because we don't understand it? Because we don't understand where they're coming from? But what I think you're not seeing is this change, the difference in culture of how they don't want to be seen doing that, because it's very different, you know, and it's not that they're bad people, it's because we don't do this in Scotland. We don't. But what I think is, you have, with your group of friends, what we should have, what we should be doing, you do. It's not saying your friends are this and my friends are that. It's the fact that you have the support of your group of 10 people that all groups should have in Scotland, and we don't have it. So it's a really good thing, and that's why I can't put down anything you do, because you all support each other 100%. You know, you do it, and you all get each other's back, you and Biggs and all that. It's great, and it's so great that people see it as being unrealistic, and then people hate on it. So I'm not downing it in any way. I'm just saying you've got such a great thing that we need. And I see it. I asked my mates. I said to my mate, why do you never share my stuff when I share all yours? He goes, come no into all that motivation, passion, all that stuff. I don't give a shit when you're in. Get that bloody thing shared. I said, I saved you from taking your life. Get that thing shared. But it's just we don't see that brotherhood as much in Scotland. And it's just, but I love what you're doing. I really do. I've read as well, you have a passion for helping people and helping people realise and chase their dreams and get them away from their 9-to-5 job. How are you doing that? What do you do?
Only if they're unhappy.
Of course, only if they're unhappy.
Quite a lot of people try and backlash it as, guys, why you think you're talking down on a 9-to-5? There's some people on a 9-to-5 that's happy. Of course there is. Some people work their whole life to get a career in a 9-to-5 that they actually love.
Absolutely.
But that's what I say, you've made it if you've got that. You've made it in life, no matter the money. Do you know what I mean? Because happiness is the end goal.
It's happiness. It's to be in something. I'm lucky because my 9-to-5 I wasn't happy. And when I went to be a personal trainer and could choose my own hours and stuff like that, and now with the Flip the Mindset podcast and Flip the Mindset as a company, I'm happy. So it's finding it's just finding your purpose.
So what makes you the most happy is bringing happiness to other people.
Absolutely, that is probably my purpose.
So you're getting a career podcast revolving around mental health and making people happy. So therefore, you've flipped what you love into a career. So when I say to people, when people are like, oh guys, I want to start my own business, I want to do my own thing, I'm unhappy in my 9-to-5, but what do I do? I'm like, well, what makes you happy? What hobby do you have? I always say to them, what would you do for the rest of your life for free? Just as a hobby. Every day, for the rest of your life until you die, what would that be? Let's say golf. Go and be a golfer then.
Try and make money from it.
Find a way, but I'm shit at it. All right, well, design bags, sell bags, make a golf company start selling clubs, or you can always make money from anything in life. So I don't know, man, like anything at all, whatever you love and you could do for the rest of your life for free, do that, but find a way to make money from it.
What do you say to someone who...
Easier said than done.
Yeah, who's in this position, who's doing it, and they might not have a mum or dad who can purse it, or an uncle or a brother who can fund it for them, and they literally don't have much but want to turn their passion into a career. What advice do you give?
I started Lagan with zero money, technically. So how I started Lagan is like literally nothing, bro. So I started Lagan because technically I had followers, so that helped. So a company came to me that painted trainers, says, can we give you a pair of trainers and you can promote it on your story? So I flipped it to give them more value and me more money, because I'd maybe make 80 to 100 quid or something off that. So I was like, what I'll do is I'll design a trainer for you to paint. I'll then market it and model it and market it like it's my thing. We'll go 50-50 on selling them. You paint every one. I design it, I market, you paint them, you ship them on Shopify. So we ended up agreeing 45%, 55%. I designed the trainer, he brought it to life. We shot it, marketed it, boom, out. Made I don't know the whole figure, he maybe doesn't want it publicised, but I personally made enough money. I started Lagan with 800 quid. So that was some money that I made off the trainers. Do you know what I mean? But the trainers cost me nothing, zero investment. I drew on a bit of paper, I drew a trainer, and he designed them. So we got that, made money. Now £800 from that project, I then started Lagan with. I started a clothing brand with £800, bro. Do you know what I mean? But that £800 came from nothing. And then there's a Business Gateway. Have you heard of that?
Yep.
Business Gateway, start up, they give you £500, bro. Obviously, you don't just get the £500, you have to show them a receipt. So I used Business Gateway £500 to pay for a website. So that was my website done. There's ways for everybody. Just thinks that I started Lagan with like 5 figures or thousands, tens of thousands or whatever. It's like from nothing, bro.
Aye, some think like your mum and dad helps you and stuff like that, but if they do or they don't, you still have to start a business.
Aye, and
bloody hard.
For exactly, bro. So personally, my mum and dad never put a penny into Lagan. My mum and dad's my biggest supporters, but people like to say, "Oh, cause mum and dad helped." No, they never. I just told you that's exactly how I started Lagan. Is what I just said.
It's an easy thing to say, innit, for them.
Exactly. But what I want to say as well, see people that do have success and their mum and dad maybe gave them a head start. So it's never it's never happened to me.
It's not our place to judge.
But would you say no? Come on, man, you're going to take the advantages that are given to you.
It's not our place to judge, and unless they come out start saying that they started from nothing, then you could be like, well, you didn't.
No, of course.
The other advice, if someone is out there, I say to everyone, wee bit of advice from me, follow it at your own will, is that there's a boy I know, and he's very, very successful now, right? And what he done was, he wanted to change jobs. He didn't have a mum and dad that could fund him or anything like that. So he worked overtime for 6 months. Right, I know all yous are going to go, and especially the young kids might go, fuck that. I've got a life to live. I've got to buy food. I've got PS4 to buy. I've got nights out. That doesn't seem my that means not maybe being involved in some things for a few months. That means missing out. 6 months, right? He didn't go out. He slowed down on his food. He stopped all his memberships, everything he was supposed to pay, and he saved up a hell of a lot of money. Now he's a millionaire. So that is he comes from my hometown, that is that is your motivation. Just that's 6 months out of his life, and now his whole life, now his whole future life, he's millionaire. Incredible.
It all boils down to how much you want it, bro.
Exactly.
Because like, if I could say to someone like, all right, so you've not maybe, because obviously I got that deal because I had followers, so if you don't, I've only have 19,000, which is still nothing compared to other people. But let's say you have 0 followers, 0 money, nothing, like at all, nothing. But you have a job, like you say, if you want it that bad, you'd put in the hours, do over. But maybe I don't get overtime. All right, well, cancel Netflix, cancel this, cancel. Like, do you know what I mean? If you got a car on finance, get rid of it. Get a bus. Do you know what I mean? Buy a car for 800 quid. Drive a bucket of shit. You can always cut down your. Do you know what I mean?
What about people who have been, because you know all about doubt, of course, because you suffer from it. What about people who are maybe crippled or polarised by doubt, that they just don't think they don't have what it takes to do it? They think they don't know where to start.
I don't know.
Is there enough things in place for them to maybe get that?
I'm going to always say there's I don't know, I'm not a profession, so I don't know what to give, like maybe the wrong advice. Do you know what I mean? If we're talking on like a pure therapy level sort of thing, but...
No, I mean, like, is there places they can reach out to get advice? Or would you open your emails up to giving people advice?
Oh, of course.
Like
daily I get
like if DMs. Someone goes and he's got all the ideas, but he just doesn't know where to start. He doesn't know maybe how to get stuff through manufacturing. But his ideas are worth $1 million. And he's just a wee guy, 14, 15, whatever, or a young woman, and he just doesn't know where to start. How does he? Is it literally? Is it college? Is it?
No.
Is there any courses?
No, bullshit. No college, man.
So what would you say? Just
if you want
just
to start
grab it with the balls.
If you want to start your own business, do not waste time going to college. In fact, all your answers are on Google, bro. So why spend a year or 2 years at college to start a business when you could just Google? Like a lecturer might spend a month teaching you something that you could have just Googled and read it within 20 seconds. Obviously, like, I'm not going to say college is bullshit for everything. Like, I don't know, I'm not like knowledgeable for all that. But if you want to start your own business and you want to go to college, scrap that idea. Google everything. That's what I've done. Do you know what I mean?
A lot of people are doing that now too.
Google's got every answer, bro.
Yeah.
Like, why do you need maths? Give me a sum, I'll figure it out in 10 seconds. Why do you need that bullshit?
No, it's true. It is true. For certain things, it is true.
So, like, with me, when it got to the point where I was like, shit, I need to get up and get it, I started creating better habits for myself, because you need to start with like even your health and your mindset and shit as well, because I was lying in, I was, do you know what I mean, drinking, I was doing like no stupid shit, but stuff that's normal. So I stopped drinking. I was a year and a half sober, stopped smoking. I used to be a smoker. Stopped everything, bro. Started getting up earlier, started getting into a kind of a routine, started going to the gym, not anymore, like, but I started doing shit like that first, and when I started feeling healthier, more motivated, I also, like, do not watch Netflix at night. That's the main thing, bro. So many people spend 4 hours a night on Netflix. Go and watch podcasts like this. This is literally what I've done. Podcasts upon podcasts, educational stuff, motivational YouTube videos on everything, like, just to give me a better mindset. And then if you want, if like, as you say, if you've got £1 million idea, I don't feel like I'm on the level to give the best advice. But also, Instagram's a thing, bro. Message every single person that inspires you, even if they've got 1 million even if it's 20 people a day that you need to message. If you message 500 people, one of them's going to get back to you with a bit of advice. My messages are always open. I might not have the exact advice for certain people, because, as I say, I'm still learning. I'm still at the start. I'm still learning. So I might be able to put you in to the right path, maybe give you the right contact that might give you better advice. I don't know, man, but
I love it.
If that's all about, if you want it so bad, you'll figure it out. Literally, you will figure it out. If you want, like, because with me, bro, it was basically life or death. That's how I had to I needed it, bro. And then I got to, like, I'm not going to, like, give up until I've tried everything. That's why that's why I don't drink or smoke. I was going down a bad place, man. So if you badly want it, you'll figure it out.
Just go for it then. Just go 100%.
For it. Just go for it.
It's very easy to become disconnected from reality when you're living the influencer's life. You've got influencers who now will say they're going to Dubai because it's essential for people's mental health. And I think you can agree that's a level of delusion that is not for the normal kind of person. Do you ever reflect on any of the criticism you get and change your behaviours, or do you truly believe them all to just be people hating?
I would never listen to a hater. I've just surrounded myself with the right people where they feel comfortable to be like, Caz, this might not be it. Caz, you maybe fucked up there. Caz, this is a bit, do you know what I mean? So, but I've spent years to get a circle like that. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? So, I would never listen to a hater, I don't think, nah. Because that means I need to go through hundreds. That means I need to read everything I hate. I don't read that shit, man. Like, I just put it to the side. So, but I got a lot of criticism. A lot, bro. But I'm still learning. Like, people see my wins because I put my wins out there. I fail monthly, bro. Weekly. I'm just not going to talk. Oh, because we want Instagram to be more realistic. Right, cool. It's not my job. You want me to, so I need to waste my energy on my failures just because everybody wants Instagram to be more realistic. I'm not wasting my energy on my failures. I'm not wasting my energy on any negativity. So I'm going to put my wins out there because I need that energy to keep me going. I fail all the time. I know my failures. Do you know what I mean? I wanted to be monetized on YouTube in 2020. Never got monetized at the start of this year. That's a fail to me. A massive fail. I uploaded 54 videos in 2020. Still never reached the requirement to get monetized and get paid. Now I am, 2021, so that's late. That was a fail. But I'm not going to talk about it, even though I've just spoke about it. But do you know what I mean?
It's weird. That's why I want to ask a question. That's when me and you would seriously disagree. Not disagree, just would seriously be different. For me, I put all my failures on Insta and I talk about my mental health and my failures because I need to be authentic with that. It's weird how you say you don't need that negative energy. For me, a failure is one of the most positive things that can happen to you. I see it differently, but I don't. No, I agree. If I put it on, it doesn't change anything for me. But I think if you've got the self-doubt there stemmed and you put your failures on, that could be hard for you to do. I understand that side of it.
100%. So it's not that you disagree with me. It's just you go.
It's just that I've got a different perspective
way of dealing with it, sort of thing. So when, as you say, failure, you can only, like, I fail all the time, and I'm so grateful for my failures because I learn from them. Do you know what I mean? As soon as I fail, I go to the drawing board. How did I do it? Blah 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 blah. As soon as I figure it out, that failure's a past.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend any more energy on it. But sometimes I do put online, if someone like maybe asks a question, I'll be like, oh, well, I failed in this, blah, blah, blah. And then they might get motivated off because it's so relatable. If my failure is very relatable, I might put it online because it might motivate someone else. Maybe, oh shit, I just failed in that too. But he's moved on, so I could move on. But some of my failures are just pointless to put on the internet. Because it might not be a big, like, I don't know, man. I'm still figuring it out.
Maybe
bro.
people need to see a bit of that, more of that of you. Listen, I fucked up here, I fucked up there, I've done that. Because then they can relate to the journey, because what they can do is on your Instagram, they can relate to you failing and going, this guy's not perfect. This guy's not just always winning, because no one always wins in life.
100%.
And I think, especially some haters and some people who are yet to know you would then turn around and go, fucking hell, this guy's human. This guy's normal.
No, they won't. Because do you know how much times I've spoke about mental health and my failures and blah, 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 and they'll just ignore it all. Like, bro, that video of me responding to hate on my channel, my most disliked video, and the only thing I'm talking about is mental health.
I seen it. There was people going playing the mental health card and stuff like that. Someone said you were playing the mental health card.
You'll never please a hater.
Which really annoyed me, but I think it was set up for that from what was coming before it and the videos that were coming, especially I think the promoting the Lagan after the thing, that set that up. They were going to think, right, he's came out with that now and then he'll probably promote himself again. You built the base for that, but I think, as you say, you're still learning, and
exactly.
that's really important. You're young, you're still learning. I'm still learning. I put up this podcast and it's now one of the most successful in Scotland. 4 episodes in, we were one of the most successful podcasts in Scotland, and people were absolutely caning me. I think it was in the Cy Ferry and Barry Ferguson one, because I kept not interrupting, I kept changing the narrative of the conversation. I didn't want to hear a life story all day and hear people's stories all day. I wanted to have a discussion. My podcast is a discussion with 2 people or 3 people, whatever it is, talking like you would on a Saturday night in a house. You disagree, you agree, you disagree, but it's just life. We're all different. We're shaped by our past and everything that's brought us to this moment. We are shaped by that. We're opinionated by that, and that's okay. It's okay to disagree. It's okay to talk about things. So, and it's not even my place to say. You know what I mean? That's me saying, "Oh, I think you should do that." So, okay, here's. But I think that a lot of people would understand you more if they've seen every side of it.
No, 100%. But I say I don't put my failures online. It's I won't. I might not go away and put a failure as a main feed post on Instagram. My failures are still online. This episode's online. Like, I've spoke about failing and shit on this episode. I've done YouTube videos about fails. So if I've done a 10-minute video on YouTube and 30 seconds of that I've maybe put in a failure or where I've maybe fucked up, it's still online, just because I'm not putting it as the highlight. Do you know what I mean? I don't know, man.
I absolutely get it. Listen, everyone does it in different ways. I think what people, when I look at your page, at first I'm going, who the fuck's this superstar? Fucking hell. Win. Fuck, is he living a life of a superstar? Like, where's he got this money from? What's going on here? That's what I think most people see when they come to your page, because it's perfect. It's pristine. Your page is good. It's well done. Credit to yourself. So maybe they just need to see that wee bit more. Right, Caz Milligan, what about his bad days? Does he have bad days? Surely he does. Is it an act? Because we all have bad days. And I think maybe that part to bring them in on that.
I know, man. It just depends what.
Don't even think you've thought about that yet, have you?
No, it's no. It depends what do you want your platform to be. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want my platform to be positive. Like, it's no look at me winning, look at me succeeding, but it's like, I don't know, man. As I say, the thing is, we'll always be figuring it out till we die, bro, because society's always changing.
Absolutely.
The world's always changing. Bro,
Absolutely.
like money, we're not going to have money in 10 years. Money's going to be disappeared in 10 years. Do you know what I mean? I'm already thinking about how I could make money off not having money. Like, that's how long term I think, bro. It's like, you could not predict the world, but you know what's coming in 10 years' time. And
you're a big man of visualization, aren't you?
Oh, bro, as I say, I've got Everything planned out, man. So,
Visualization is the key to success.
Someone commented on my TikTok, because I put on my TikTok that I'm gonna blow up soon on YouTube. I want to be a big YouTuber, blah blah blah, because that'll give me another platform to show my life, to show blah blah blah. And then somebody says, you're lucky if you ever get 5,000 subscribers. I'm still only on 1.7, but I screenshot it because I'm gonna get that this year. And I'm now this is about manifestation. I'm vocalizing that because I'm gonna make sure I get 5,000 this year. Do you know what I mean? So this is me vocalizing it. Now I'm confident. Now I'm gonna fucking work for it. Everybody subscribe. Do you know what I mean? So it's like it just depends, man.
It's like, that thing, like you seem to me like someone who's had to doubt and it's annoyed you for years, and now you need that. I think you need the hater to be your best, and that's not me being. I'm not a bloody psychologist, but for me, there was a part in my life where the more haters I got, the more I performed, the more better I would be. The more bad write-ups I got, the more fucking, you know what I mean? I'm coming to get it, you know what I mean?
So do you think I've got self-doubt?
No, you said self-doubt's a huge thing with you, didn't you? Before in the podcast, you said you suffered with it hugely, and that's what used to...
I was doubt from everyone else. I wouldn't say self-doubt, because I've always believed in what I was going to get, but I've used other people's doubt to motivate me.
Right, so doubt's a huge factor of motivation. Very interesting. That's.
But again, I'm not out to prove anybody wrong.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But
you just use doubt as your fuel.
Aye, pretty much. So if someone says, "Oh, you're never gonna be like this," I'm gonna be like, "All right, son, keep watching." I'm not out to prove you wrong, because I was going to do that before you even said this.
Yeah.
But it's going to prove you wrong. But I'm not out to prove you. Do you understand? It's
really interesting that. Yeah. No, I absolutely understand.
I don't know. As I say, I'm still figuring it all out.
And that's why I think these haters is probably the best thing that's happened to you this year, because you've probably took that in and you're flying off it now.
So another thing as well, you've got like these TikTokers, right, that maybe do TikTok trends, that maybe get 100,000 followers. Bro, I just see them putting it to waste. They're not building a brand. They're continuing to do trends, and if that's working, then sound. I don't know what they're earning, I don't know what they're building, whatever. But I see so many people that maybe get all this clout of TikTok and literally just do nothing with it. And if they don't want to do nothing with it, that's sound. But I've only got 25,000 followers on TikTok, but I'm getting this attention. But I've already got the foundations to my empire. So I could be like, oh, by the way, I've got this, I've got Lagan Goods, I've got a YouTube channel, I'm on Instagram as well. So I could then showcase that. So that's another bit of advice I want to give as well, is start building your foundation. Just your foundation, bro. It took me 5 years. I've finally got to the point where I feel like my groundwork's done. It took me 5 years. Now, I said this a couple of days ago in the car with one of my mates. Now I feel I'm at the point where, like, now let's build brick by brick. Now it's time to build this fucking castle. Because I've spent 5 years doing the groundwork. Do you know what I mean? So now I'm at the point where I'm like, now this is going to just boom. It's going to take another few decades, of course it is. But I never want to retire. That's another thing. That's why I don't care about money. I'm never retiring it. I'm working till I die, bro. I'm going to build empires. Aye, bro, I love it. I'm in love with the game. But then again, I don't want... See, while I'm talking, I'm also listening to what people are saying, like predicting... Because I don't want people to think like that I've got it all figured out and I've got all these businesses. I'm still tiny, bro. But I know my future. So...
We ask every person who comes on the podcast, what's the darkest place you have been? What was it like there? And how did you recover? And how did you get back from that place?
Shit. The darkest place I've been. Bro, I don't even think anyone noticed where I was as well, to be fair. It's when I had to stop drinking. I had to stop drinking and smoking, and there's reasons for it, but I'm not going to get too deep into it, bro, because I've not spoke to anybody about it. But it was getting to the point where I was living in cloud 9, clubbing, girls, drinking, everything, 5 times a week, easy, for a couple of years, bro. And then it got to the point where I was seeing everyone else get on with their life. But I never really had gone back to the foundation. I never really had a foundation. I never had a career yet. So when there came a point where I think I had a feeling that everybody else, I was out to please everybody else. So if anybody had a day off on a Saturday and wanted to drink, but nobody else is out wanting to party, I would just phone Caz. Caz will be up for it. But when I was living in that time, I was like, I'm living like a king. But looking back at it, I'm like, what the fuck was I doing, bro? So when it started partying that much and having that much fun for a certain amount of time led to a place where I wasn't leaving my bed for weeks, if not months, because I knew if I kept it up, or I had a feeling that it was already too late, and I thought my life was fucked. I thought I was going to have to work a job that I hated. And then, you know, when you look into your future, you could see like yourself with a family, shit like that. I seen fuck all. Like, I was like, fuck. I was trying to visualize. Like, this is why I'm big on visualization, because I was trying to visualize shit, and I seen nothing, bro.
And you couldn't.
I was trying to see even a year into the future, nothing. So then I started like, fuck, am I going to die soon? Do you know what I mean? And I just started pure fucking me up heavy, man. So I don't know if I get too deep into it. I know that's not a big explanation, but I mean, it's a start to getting it off my chest, I suppose, innit? And then that's when I thought, when it came to the point where it's like, I've got one last chance to make something of myself, then I was like, Lagan Goods is got to be that fucking thing. So I put in the work, put in the research, and I had to make it happen, bro. And as I say, it's still the start. I'm still doing tiny numbers, but I know it's long term. I'm not trying to build a brand to sell it in 5 years. I'm building this brand to be with me till I die. And if, no pressure to my kids, but if they end up entrepreneurs or businessmen and they'll end up in love with Lagan Goods, then I'll pass it down. And as I say, that's what I see my future is. And then going back to self-doubt, I'm going to work my arse off to make that happen, but there's still a part of me like, you don't guarantee the future. So maybe in 10 years it might change. Maybe I'll have a new schedule for Lagan. I never know that. Do you know what I mean? I know where I'm going to be in life, but my projects, I can't visualize too much about them because you don't know where the world goes. As you say, like, as I say, money's not going to be a thing. So what else could change in the world? Do you know what I mean? So going back to the dark, fuck knows, man.
You were in that dark place. So you're in that dark place drinking club, and most of us have been there, mate. And we've got cloud, we've got that fog where you get very scared and you get very within yourself. You can't see a way out. You can't really see yourself in 6 months, never mind a year. Were you ever depressed, anxiety? Did you have suicidal thoughts? Was it a real difficult time?
Shit, I've never spoke about this shit, man. I was definitely depressed. I never seen a future. I hadn't got to the point where I had suicidal thoughts, but I had a point to be like, I never seen a future. So it's like, I never planned anything to take my own life or nothing, but I was depressed. Started feeling a bit anxious. First time experience anxiety, in fact, that came along. But
what happened there? Mine was in the supermarket. I had two bags. I spoke about this in the last podcast, and it was so busy, man. And my heart was beating. I felt
it's crazy, isn't it?
I had I felt so faint, and all my energy went. And I've got my mom's shopping, and I've told this before. I just dropped them, and I sprinted out the shop and all the way home. And then when I got home, I felt safe again.
I don't know, man. As I say, I didn't want to dive too deep into it because I've never spoke about it, man. This is like a big thing, just even speaking about it here, but. Fuck knows. Hopefully it might get to the point where I feel I've been working on myself for a year and a half. 2 year I've been working on myself to try and get to the mindset that I used to be in. Like, for example, when I lived in London, when I moved to London and it was like doing the modelling, creative directors and like working there, I thought I'd made it, bro. Like, thought I made it. I was like, this is it, this is the start. Got this business, boom, 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 everything's booming. I used to phone my dad like, Dad, I cannot fucking wait. This lifestyle that I've promised you, it's coming. Shit fucked up. Had to move back up Scotland. Had nothing, bro. Career dropped. All my modelling dropped because at this point I was doing a rate on modelling where I was already down south. But now I need to charge that rate plus travel, plus accommodation. They're like, nah, that's too expensive. I had nothing, bro. So at that point, that's when I realised, like, shit. But that's when I started going out clubbing. I'm like, oh, fuck it. But at that point, I never thought, but at that point, I wasn't like, oh, I'm depressed, I need to drink. It wasn't like that, bro. I was just like, nah, fuck it, I'm just going to drink. I'm going to go out clubbing, blah, blah, blah. But then it just led to a point where I was just drinking all the time, bro. And then, I thought, no, I had to stop. I had to stop. Do you know what I mean? And
just a mess.
A proper mess, man. And that's why I need this. This is why I work 16 hours, 7 days a week. Because without this, I'm fucked.
Yeah, yeah. The reason why I asked that there is for that last sentence. You need this. People watching, I think, will understand why you are like you are, why you give every ounce of your being, your last ember, to Lagan Goods, why you work so hard, why you want this, why you want to create the legacy and the empire. I think people, without going too deep into it like you did, which is fine, your why and your purpose, I think you just explained very well, and I think that'll allow people to relate to you a lot more. Listen, I think you have been absolutely fantastic.
Thank you for having me, bro.
Hats off to you. We've went really deep. We've went really hard on this. It's not been easy. Man. And I said before, it won't be easy because we need to get to the nitty gritty of everything to come. And that's what I done by myself when I was recovering. I got to the nitty gritty. I asked all the questions I've asked you. I was kind of similar when I was younger. I asked myself them questions and really dug deep and had a harsh word with myself, and accepting certain things and appreciating certain things changed my life.
When I was in that dark place and I was trying to like work towards to get out of it, that's when I started like asking shit. Oh, this happened in my life. There's shit that I've never spoke to anybody, bro, about what's happened. There's some things in my life that my best pal has no clue about. But now I realised I might have these issues, I'd say, maybe, because of what happened when I was whatever age, do you know what I mean? So it's that's when I started realising, like, oh, maybe because when I was drinking and living life 1,000 miles per hour, like clubbing, girls, blah, 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 because maybe that distracted me from, I don't know, man, I'm still figuring myself out, bro.
No, I get that. It's distracting you from something, and then you end up drinking and partying your way into just that.
But when I was living that life, I felt like, I never felt like what I'm explaining. But looking back to it, I'm like, well, maybe looking back to like when you've been in that dark place and when you're making it out, you start thinking about stuff you've done before that dark place, but you start saying it like you're not even him. Do you know, like if you've seen someone, you're like, oh, maybe he's acting like that because of that. I start saying that about myself. Maybe I was acting like that because of this. Yeah,
there's mostly always a reason. It's a wonderful thing we have when we don't know what's going on at the time. We get lost in our shit, and then a year later or a couple of months later, we can look back, you know, in that almost third person view, and you're seeing it from a whole different perspective, and you can understand, right, that was leading to that. That was leading to that. I've accepted this. I can move on. Whatever happened in your past and all that stuff, it's past. You know, we can only focus on the present. Whatever's going to have in the future, we can only visualise. You know, we can't worry about the future. We can't regret and spend too much energy in the past. The present is where we're jamming, and I think you're doing very well. You're doing well for yourself. I'm going to buy a t-shirt. You know what I mean?
Respect,
and I hope I get a discount. and you know, I wish you all the best of luck. You're a great boy. Even talking to you before this, you're a great boy, and I don't think many people realise that. They can hate, they can slag all you want. I get it. Many people have got it. I got it when I played football. I got it, and many people I know get it. And that's just in Scotland. If you're doing well, you're going to get this. You know, and hopefully that part of society can change soon. But listen, I want to thank you for coming on. I think you've been amazing.
Me, bro. Before we end this podcast, I just want to say, if you have got a dream, please fucking work towards it. Even if you're a 14-year-old kid and you want to live in a £10 million mansion, if that's your fuel and if that's your motivation, create a career where it could provide for that mansion and go and live in it. Because I've got visions where I want to be, and trust me, I'm going to get it. No matter what anybody says, I'm going to get the lifestyle I'm working towards. So chase your dream.
Love that. If you want to get and reach out to Caz Milligan, we will plug his, let's plug all your channels.
Sweet.
So first one, your Twitter.
I don't have Twitter, bro. It's toxic.
Doesn't have Twitter. He does have Twitter, but it's someone else on it.
Aye, get off Twitter.
I need to unfollow them now because I followed them.
I don't have Twitter, man.
Instagram?
Instagram, just Caz Milligan.
YouTube?
Caz Milligan.
Facebook, Caz Milligan. All Caz Milligan. On anything else?
All Caz Milligan.
TikTok?
Caz Milligan.
And clothing website?
LeganGoods.com.
So go on, have a look at your stuff, man. It is good stuff. He puts a lot of work into it. And it's good quality.
And it's only going to build. It's just the start, man.
It's just the start of this young man's life. Thank you for listening.